Well, yesterday was not a good trading day. I made some very dumb and rookie-like mistakes, and I wanted to talk about how you fix those mistakes, what some good practices you can put in place to stop it from happening in the future, and really how you recover from a really bad, maybe even traumatic trading event. And so let's talk about it. I have only recently, in the last probably about a year, maybe a year and a half, become profitable as a trader. You know, I had my moments of making some profit in the past, but about a year and a half ago, I really found kind of a strategy that worked for me, that was consistent, and I also started getting smarter about risk management, primarily from using TopStep and TopStep X. And they've got built-in risk parameters, and so which if you haven't checked that out yet, I would highly recommend it. I know there's a lot of negativity out there about TopStep in the trading community, in the prop firm space, because they have gone through some changes, and sure, there's some things I don't care for about them in comparison to other places, which I made a whole other video on that if you want to go check it out, on why I trade with TopStep and why I recommend it. I'll put a link to it up here. But they do have great risk parameters that you can set to, you know, if I only want to lose $200 a day and it's not worth losing more than that to me, then I can lock myself out after I lose $200. And I know other platforms also have a way. I mean, even with Trade-Evate, you know, on the desktop, on web version, you can use their risk parameters too. It's just not as easy or as intuitive. Their platform sucks. Let me just say that. Trade-Evate sucks. TopStep X, I think, is great. So anyways, I came to a place about a year and a half ago where I finally said, you know what? I know that I can make good trades. I have proven that my strategy does work. It's maybe not the highest of win percentages, but my winners are way bigger than my losers. And if I can just set some actual risk parameters for myself. And so what I initially did was I said, I'm only going to take one trade a day. And so it better be a amazing setup that I just know is a home run, and even allow myself to take a little bit more risk than I normally would, because I'm only going to take that one trade. I cannot, if I lose, I cannot try and gain it back. It does not matter what the chart does. It could be, you know, going and taking off into exactly what I thought it was going to do, and I had to show the discipline to not get in the trade or force the discipline by locking myself out. And so I started doing that. Even if I won that trade, I was not allowed to take another trade. And so I was winning trades and I was getting locked out. And what do you know? 5 days goes by pretty quick when you get some winning trades and you lock yourself out after the winning trade and you're able to take a payout. And that feeling of winning and knowing I could do it. You know, so many of us probably sit back and just aren't sure that we are like all these people on YouTube, even though we are, and can't figure it out ourselves. And that is just a lie. And the truth is, if you can find any kind of winning strategy for yourself, I guarantee you, if you just limit your risk and you don't do stupid things, then you will get to payouts. Now, I say all of this because I've just had a relapse and I've been beating myself up over it. But after really spending some time reflecting on it, so I blew some funded accounts last night. And after really thinking about it and reflecting on it, well, it's very obvious of why it happened. Two things. One, I either need to work harder at disciplining myself, which for sure needs to happen, without risk parameters, because you need to be able to have the self-control to not hop back into trades that you should never be in. But either way, I had loosened my grip on the risk parameters. I had stopped using them. I had stopped locking myself out automatically, because I knew that if I want to trade, I had built the habit that I could walk away from the computer, because I knew what it felt like to win, and then a day go by, and then payouts come, But I had not built up the muscle without risk parameters, like without automatic risk parameters from TopStep, to lose a trade and walk away and know what that feels like. And so, yeah, last night I was really close to a payout. We just had 2 more days left. All I needed to make was looking to make $200, and I was just going to make the bare minimum. You only need 150 with TopStep, but I was just aiming for $200, and then $200 for the next day, and then I would be at payout, and it would have been a really nice payout. But instead, what I did was I actually got to the $200 mark and did not take profit, and decided I would try and get more, which turned into a loss on that trade. And then I thought, well, I can't have a losing day. I just need two days of $200 and I can get to payout. So I decided to hop back into another trade, which was not even a setup. It was just me FOMOing and seeing the market moving and thinking I gotta hop in. And so I hopped back into a trade, or hopped back into the market. I'm not even going to call it a trade. Hopped back into the market, lost even more. So now I was down way more than I normally am ever on a day. And instead of just saying, you know what, dang, that stinks, I'm an idiot, and closing it all out and saying I'll come back tomorrow and, either make it up, or maybe not even make it up, but just have a positive day tomorrow and my payout will just be a little less. That would have been the smart thing to do. But instead, my mind went to FOMO and greed, and I said, 1, I can either make all of this back, or 2, if this gets bad enough, oh well, I can always just get another account. Like, in the heat of the moment, that is where my brain went, and that is not smart. It's not good. I recognize that, and it's something I want to fix. And I think it's something a lot of people struggle with, though, and so it's something I wanted to talk about openly, that people knew that you're not the only one struggling with this. And so we've got to find some way to put some kind of guardrails on ourselves. And for me, that is going to be TopStep, and that's going to be their risk parameters. And I'm just going to get back to being strict with it. So I'm actually going to start a series that's coming up, a series of videos where I'm going to take a brand new combine, because unfortunately I got to start over too. And I'm going to show how just starting with extremely low risk and locking yourself out, you can get to a funded account, and then you can get to payout, because I've done it time and time again. And so I'm just going to document it for myself. It's also going to hold me accountable, and hopefully it helps you as well.